All right, guys, we got Pharaoh here, and Pharaoh is coming in at 30, 30, 34, 35 pounds almost. Woo, excuse me, sorry about that. I want y'all to get a real good look at Pharaoh. And you see how big this boy is? He is 13 weeks old. And you get to see what our productions are starting to look like. And we just want you guys to just see Pharaoh, guys. He's ready to jump off the table. But as you can see, Pharaoh is a very beautiful dog, perfect specimen. We're trying to get him to learn how to stack, but he will not stop moving. Pharaoh is a dog that won't stop moving. But you can see he got big bone, big feet, big girth. And what we really want to talk about is how you breed your dogs matters. And what we want to say is we bred Pharaoh, mother, which is Gorilla. She's our most muscular dog. She has the most bully type features. She has the short back and, very large head. And the reason for this breeding was we wanted to create the largest American bully possible. And you're probably thinking, why would you want to do that? Well, we wanted to create the largest American bully that we could create. Because basically, here in Maryland, when you go to a dog show, I really plan on letting this guy sit in my lap, but never mind. When you go to a dog show, and you have American bullies, it's all about who has the largest American bully. Whose American bully is the most muscular, who has the biggest head, whose American bully has the most mass. So we did this breeding, to create a dog that had the most possible mass, the most possible head mass, and the most bone possible. So we're still working with him to try to get him to stack, but he just will not. And when I say will not, one day I'm just gonna have to break him. He will not sit still. I mean, no matter what, he will not sit still, ever. So that's something we got to work on him with, but it doesn't even matter. He's a lilac boy. Everybody thinks that he's a brown or fawn, but he's lilac, which is like a purplish or champagne color. Like I said, guys, our goal was to create the biggest bull possible so that when we showed up, people would know that we were on the map. Because here in Maryland, if you have a American bully, XL, it has to be massive. I mean, a head the size of a center block and the body like a miniature cow body. They expect these dogs to be at least 145, 150 pounds. So we set out to create the biggest dog possible. Now, what we did was we used genetics. We used genetics that we had, which was Gorilla's father was 110, and Gorilla's grandfather was 175 pounds. 100, right now, Gorilla's grandfather is probably about 200 pounds, which is he's a Pro Bulls bloodline with a few other things in there, but we're just going to call it Pro Bulls blood. So what we did in this breeding was we took Pro Bulls blood and crossed it with Bossy blood, Bossy Kennel bloodline, to create the most mass of a dog with a larger body frame, more sturdier body frame. The Bossy dogs, they tend to have a muscular frame, most of them really muscular frame, with a longer snout. The Pro Bulls bloodline dogs tend to have dogs that are they're more bullish looking dogs, almost like a just real bully. Lots of mass, and they're not as mobile as a bossy dog. And bossy dogs can be athletic built if you get one that's you don't really overfeed per se. And this guy gets a moderate meal. But like I said, our goal was to create a large bull, and that's what we did here. How did we do that? We used the bloodlines of dogs. One bloodline that creates really large dogs, Pro Bulls blood, and the Bossy bloodline, which creates champion ring dogs, dogs that can go in the show ring and become champions. So that's how we did it. We got to really work with this guy to get him to stack. I mean, he will not sit still. I mean, he will not sit still. And what that brings me to is a point. When you go to a kennel to get a dog, you wanna start a kennel and start a bloodline or start breeding dogs. It's best for you to go back to the person who you got your dog originally from to understand what their vision was and which direction they were going in, so that you can kind of go in the same direction of keeping the dogs consistent and creating something that is, appealing. Not something that is like just totally off track, because when you mix bloodlines, you don't know what you're going to get. So our main goal was to mix the Bossy bloodline with this Pro Bulls blood, and we got exactly what we wanted. A clean cut, big, gigantic bull. This guy's only 13 weeks old. He's got muscles everywhere. He's got girthiness, big head, big paws. And believe me, guys, we don't overfeed this guy. We don't stuff him full of food. We don't do little nasty things. I'll tell you one little nasty secret that people do. They will only allow their dogs to drink milk. Or if you're really nasty, you'll put fat and milk in the water. So the dog will never ever drink, water. And it'll make the dog really, really big, but it'll mess up his liver and make him sick. That's just one little thing. Another thing is, some people may give their dog steroids. We don't give this guy anything but food. So this is all natural, guys. This is a real bull, all natural. We created him. And what we did was we selected the largest, girthiest bull in the litter for the purpose of having the dog that had the genes that we were looking for, which was the large bull. So now we can use this guy when he gets older with females that are lacking in girth or lacking in bone. So we have a plan. You see his feet are big. We have a plan to put him with females that are, lacking in certain ways or certain areas, so that we can, contrast and compare. But the one thing we want to do is put him with females that have lots of muscle and lots of structure, so that we can take a large bully dog and add it to a dog with more structure. And that's the direction that we're going in. A lot of people will take a big, bodacious, bonely dog like this and breed it to another dog with the same amount of bone and girth. And you'll end up with a very sloppy dog. That's why it's important for you to figure out what the breeder is doing, so you can figure out how you're going to do your plan. But as you can see, guys, we set out to create a large bull, and we did it.